Hi, my name is Kale. A couple weeks ago we went to Vermont. I learned about some trees. There's one, the birch fir tree. Its needles are used to make tea. I also learned about the different kinds of salamanders. One is the redback salamander. I caught 3 of those. There's also a spotted salamander and 2-line salamander. My friend caught all 3. I also want to talk about a stick bug. He really looks like a stick, just to state the obvious. I didn't even know I caught him until I really started to look. There are some cool water beetles I caught. One thing I forgot to tell you, never leave a salamander in the sun for too long, or it will die because it needs to stay in the wetlands because it breathes through its skin.
Diving beetles like to be in ponds because they are water bugs. Caterpillars hide when they see people because they feel endangered. Cedar trees make acorns. You will also find more squirrels in cedar trees because the squirrels like acorns. The yellow birch tree makes great homes for animals like ants because you can take the bark off with your hands. The birch fir tree is also important because you can make tea with the leaves. Frogs and salamanders like to be in the shade because they are amphibians. That means that in the sun they would dry out. The small life cycle of a dragonfly is a nymph. Nymphs are born in the water.
Hi, my name is Caleb, and my favorite part about the day was when we went to the pond. I caught a lot of little and slimy creatures, like tadpoles, little minnow, jumping beetles, and dragonfly. I found a dragonfly skin. For some reason, we did not catch any frogs, but me and my class saw a few. We also went salamander hunting. It was a blast.
Hi, my name is Justin WL, and I'm going to talk about our class trip. On our class trip, we learned about America's wetlands. In them, one of the species that lives in America's ecosystem is the salamander. There are different species of salamanders like the redback salamander, the 2-line salamander, the dusky salamander, and the yellow polka-dotted salamander. Another fact about salamanders is that they love cold, damp places. We also learned that there are 2 kinds of birch trees. One is called a yellow birch tree, the other is a white birch tree.
Hi, my name is Bella. I learned a lot of cool things at our Vermont trip. Here they are. Termites like to eat dead logs, and after they're done, they like to poop it out and leave nutrients in the soil. A birch tree's bark is great for making fires. When you take a piece of bark off, it will be a red-orange color. A balsam tree has lots of vitamin C, and its leaves are great for making tea. Salamanders like damp, wet areas like under logs. They often dig tunnels and live there. But don't worry, there is lots of food down there. They like to eat mushrooms, mites, and slugs. Yellow birch trees attract lots of woodpeckers because they are filled with tasty bugs. Dead trees and dead stumps are great for the environment.
I had a good day at Vermont learning. The whole class played what kind is on your back. After we went looking for toads and salamanders. I didn't find anything, but after I caught a diving beetle and lots of minnows. I also learned that the diving beetle is an amazing diver. It eats little insects in the water. The diving beetle swims fast and eats minnows. The tree frog likes to live in trees a lot.
I learned that there existed a stick bug, and when you take it, you can't feel him. I learned the life cycle of a dragonfly and other bugs. I learned that salamanders can't go in the sun and it lives in wet places. I learned that frogs like to be in the shade. I learned that there existed some giant salamanders in Canada. I learned that a lot of insects
like to be in wet areas. I also learned that dragonflies took their skin off when they are too big for it.
In Vermont. My favorite part in Vermont is when I finally caught a slimy redback salamander under a rotten log. After we went on a path and played a scientific game, Annie, our director, explained the game to us. We had to go up the path and listen to our classmates. Then Annie gave us a job. Then the students came up and listened. After we did the game, we went back to our meeting place. By the time we got back, my shoes were covered in mud, so I had to wear bags on my feet. We had to explain one thing about nature. I had to explain how leaves change color. This is how it went. Once you get higher and higher, leaves are changing. This is our hard word for us. Bella explained woods are good for making fires. Maddie explained about dead logs. Termites like to eat dead logs. Justin Peavy explained about the yellow birch tree. Woodpeckers like to peck at this tree because it has bugs in it. I learned that salamanders can dry up in the sun, so they have to stay in cold places like under logs, leaves, and dirt. Annie told us we had to dig deep to find a salamander, and we had to get our hands dirty and damp. I also learned that frogs don't like sun, so they hid under leaves and dirt.
Here's some stuff that I learned. The leaves change color when you get higher and higher. Dead tree stumps are good for the environment because most likely another tree is going to grow in it. Dead logs are good for termites to live in. Frogs don't like to be in the sun because they might dry up and die. When some salamanders are in the open, birds might snatch their tails, but good thing their tails grow back. Yellow birch trees are good for woodpeckers because there are tons of bugs in the trees. The balsam tree has a little bit of vitamin C in it.